God, have you seen the size of that cow? I think she'll just burst out of that dress by the end of the night. I mean, can you even blame him for texting me nonstop for 3 months now? I had no idea she was that big. Last night, he told me her natural VO is bacon flavored. I freaking hated them and their skinny legs and toned abs. It was like high school all over again. Only this time, the man who just hours ago promised to love and respect me for the rest of our lives was actually dreading me touching him. Don't get me wrong, he lied through his teeth like they all do, that he likes it that I'm curvier. That's what a real woman should look like. Who even wants to hug those bag-of-bones skinny women anyway? And I, like the fool I was, believed every word he said. I wiped my tears and tried desperately to brush it off as these two bleach blonde anorexic girls were just jealous that I had scored a handsome man and they were still alone. But the reality was yet to hit. That night, I squeezed into my size 26 sexy lingerie and tiptoed out of the bathroom to surprise him. But as I approached him, I saw the screen of his phone clearly. The same blonde captain of the cheerleading squad wannabe was now sending him naked pictures of her perfectly chiseled body. I lunged at that phone before he could even react from the shock. There it was. Pizza Hut had texted him, "I love you too." I wanted to hurl because of the shame and anger I felt at that moment. I was disgusted with myself for trying to desperately ignore what I had always known. Men love skinny women, and if they date us full-figured girls, it's only because they thought they couldn't score with a sexy, skinny, confident woman in the first place. I got in the cab moments later, and for months I could barely get out of bed from the shock. And if it hadn't been for my brother visiting at the right time, I doubt I'd still be around telling you this story.
The story you've just heard is a real experience that my beloved sister felt firsthand. Hi, my name is Brad Cameron, a clinical researcher based in Illinois, and what I have to share with you today will shock you if you are ever 10 pounds over your ideal weight. It all started with a Harvard study that caused my sister Linda to lose 1.5 ounces every hour. Now, if you just stick with me in this video, you will find out. The autoimmune fatting response, the real reason why you will never lose weight and keep it off by eating healthy, is exposed by a Harvard study that never saw the light of day until January 2020. How healthy food like grilled chicken salad are morphing your insides, it can be quite graphic. The remote tribe whose stool samples changed the way we look at weight loss today. The weight gain chemical in your water and fruits that trigger obesity. The two harmless medications that your doctor will prescribe this year will double your waistline. You're about to learn today that the reason you can't keep the pounds off has nothing to do with your genetics, age, race, or favorite foods. We can barely believe that my little sister was trapped in that fat suit that put her on the short list for type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and high blood pressure. Going from this to this in just 31 days. She basically shed another human being off of her waist, hips, arms, and legs in the time that most doctors would have you measuring each ounce of bland, boiled vegetables that go in your body. And she's not alone. In just 2 months from when I first put out this PSA, I received over 270 testimonials that brought tears to my eyes. People like Janice B. from Missouri who said, "Brad, I was heartbroken when I heard Linda's story, but I knew that if she could be this strong, so could I. I am now 20 pounds lighter and it's just my 17th day. I can't believe that the jeans I just got a month ago are now my fat pants." Ladies, don't second guess yourselves. Take the leap of faith and you will not regret it. Or people like Ben M. from Boston who said, "I'll be damned if it didn't work." Listen, at first when my wife showed me the video, I thought it's some womanly thing I'd be ashamed to even try. But I was refused a coronarography just 2 months ago because I was too fat. Well, today I walked into my doctor's office and his jaw dropped when I got up on the scale, and I was already 25 pounds lighter. It just took 3 weeks of using your method. Thank you, Brad, and all my best to Linda. So, if you too want to experience what it feels like to break through the casing of pure, raw, ugly fat for which you were judged every second of your life, then stay with me and I promise you sweet relief. But you may be wondering how I stumbled upon this breakthrough discovery that won't have you sweating in the gym for 5 hours a week like most health gurus would recommend. Well, for that I have to tell you what happened to my sister Linda. Shortly after that SOB crushed her self-confidence and shrunk her self-worth for good, she became reclusive. It was almost as if she was hiding from herself and us. We'd managed to get her to join a family dinner now and then, but every time I looked at her once beautiful, bright, and shiny eyes, it was as if the Linda I knew disappeared completely. She felt trapped in a prison of her own fat casing. I saw her ashamed of her waistline. She'd wear clothes that were so big and baggy just so that they wouldn't show the bulging stomach she was dreading to look at. My Linda was fading away, and a feeling of dread filled my entire body every time I'd see her. On March 25th, 2019, I tried calling Linda to get her out for dinner with me and my girlfriend, but oddly enough, she didn't answer. After texting her 30 minutes later, there was still no answer. I felt my stomach drop at the thought of anything happening to my little sister. It was so unusual for her to not pick up, so I decided to go with my gut feeling on that one and pay her a visit just to make sure she's all right, because she kept complaining how her back hurts and that her doctor basically just told her to lose weight instead of really helping her. I had an eerie feeling walking up to her front door. I rang the bell 3 times and there was no movement inside the house, despite her living room light being on. So I went back to the car to grab my spare key and made my way through the hall. Hearing the bath running upstairs, I kept shouting her name, but there was no response still. So as I decided to go up and see if everything was all right, friends, nothing could ever prepare me for what I found. The water was overwhelming the bathtub and had started to spill into the hallway. And Linda was passed out, pale as a ghost, with her left wrist slashed open. I blacked out at the sight. Everything I did from that point on is an absolute blur to me. Somehow I remember reaching the hospital praying for Linda to recover. I remember having her to call our parents and tell them what happened. I remember feeling hopeless and angry. In Linda's home, we later found a suicide note that confirmed our worst fears. She wanted to die before the fat would kill her. You see, she, like so many other women out there, felt like she had lost control. She was imprisoned in a body she didn't identify with. She was judged, she was bullied, she was abandoned, and she was convinced that she would end up dying alone from the complications that already had started rearing their ugly head despite her being just 35 years old. But before you catch yourself judging her too, just know she did everything in her power to lose weight. I mean, by all accounts, she did everything right. She was eating a healthy diet and rarely touched fast food. Her fridge was stocked with low-fat dairy and her pantry was booming with grains and fiber. She was doing yoga classes 4 times a week and was in the gym every other weekend. And despite all this, she was still 65 pounds overweight. Her blood pressure was getting dangerously high. She had skull-bursting migraines. Her cholesterol was through the roof. And according to the blood sugar spikes that nearly got her to pass out once, she was already knocking on diabetes' door. This one question was killing me before I started my journey. If she's doing everything right, why is this happening to Linda? And if you're watching this video, you too probably have a gut feeling that something isn't right, but you just can't put your finger on it. Well, today I will prove to you how everyone, even your doctor, has been ignoring the proof that's right under their noses. Maybe you feel a hint of what is going on, and the only symptom you really have right now is that you can't take control of your raging appetite or cravings for certain savory or sweet foods. Now, tell me if this statement rings true for you too. Low carb, low fat, paleo, low glycemic, ketogenic, and all the other diets haven't helped and weren't sustainable. Or after you initially dropped a couple of pounds, they came back with a vengeance. The same goes for every single exercise program you've tried. Jogging, speed walking, weight training, aerobics, CrossFit, yoga, or spinning. The stubborn pounds still wouldn't come off and stay off. Well, all of these failures, I came to find, can be traced back to your gut. If you are even 10 pounds overweight and you've also noticed other issues such as fatigue, skin problems, aching joints, low mood, headaches, and brain fog, or just the feeling that you are off your game, but you're not sure why, you may be suffering from what I and other researchers now refer to as autoimmune fattening response. And I, along with a few other prominent voices in this community, are pointing the accusatory finger at it being the single cause for weight gain and obesity. So what links weight gain to the gut? The answer may shock you. Bacteria. Did you know that the human body is host to around 100 trillion bacteria? They outnumber the human cells in the body 10 to 1. And if we were able to gather them all in a bag, that would be close to 5 pounds of bacteria. But now, before you get grossed out at that thought, let me debunk a common misconception that states all bacteria is bad for you. Nothing could be further from the truth. The microbiota, or the bacteria in your gut, can affect the brain, which is also involved in digestion. Not only that, but few people are aware that their gut and immune system are very closely linked, and that 80% of your immune tissue is situated in your digestive tract. However, if your gut bacteria don't get what they need, this is where your body's problems start. So I started putting 2 and 2 together, asking myself time and time again, why us? How can we, as Americans, with the richest economy, the most advanced medical care in the world, a gym on every corner, and health food aisles stocked to the brim in every supermarket, be getting sicker and sicker every year? Well, believe me, there's an answer and a way to restore your health, drop massive amounts of weight, and beam with energy as soon as you open your eyes in the morning. Well, it all started when a paper published in the journal Science described the gut microbiome of the Hadza people, hunter-gatherers in Tanzania, as being more diverse than those seen in Western societies. The Hadza eat as our ancestors did, relying on foods found in the forest, such as wild berries, honey, fiber-packed legumes, and fruits and fresh game. They basically eat no processed food, or even food that comes from farms. Although certain bacteria found in the Hadza's microbiome would shift depending on what foods they ate during their dry and wet seasons, these same bacteria weren't found in people who ate Western diets. The study mentioned analyzed over 350 stool samples from Hadza people taken over the course of about a year. And while that isn't a pretty image, what they found shocked me, because They then compared the bacteria found in Hadza's guts with those found in 17 other cultures around the world, including other hunter-gatherer communities in Venezuela and in Peru, and poor isolated farming areas in Malawi and Cameroon. The trend was clear. The further away people's diets are from our Western diet, the greater the variety of microbes that tend to have in their guts. And that includes bacteria that are missing from American guts. So whether it's people in Africa, Papua New Guinea, or South America, communities that live a traditional lifestyle have common gut microbes, ones that we all lack in the industrialized world, ones that are the primary reason for why we get fat. In a way, the Western diet, low in fiber and high in sugars and artificial sweeteners, is basically wiping out the good species of bacteria from your gut, the ones that traditionally keep us at a healthy weight naturally. You see, when you don't give your gut what it needs, or when you pump it silly with pills, the bad guys infiltrate your microbiota and start planning a mutiny. And that's why you can't seem to keep the pounds off no matter what you do. These 5 pounds of villains stuck to your gut's walls are causing your immune system to go haywire and store fat instead of burning energy, triggering uncontrollable weight gain, which the science community now calls your body's autoimmune fattening response. Before you can blink, you'll come to realize that the autoimmune fattening response turned into something much, much worse, like obesity, type 2 diabetes, and even heart disease. It's like a game of domino, and the first piece was triggered by your own fork. Have you heard the famous saying, "You are what you eat"? Well, the first big culprit that's responsible for us getting sicker and sicker is none other than our very own standard American diet. SAD for short. And that's exactly what our nutrient-depleted bodies are when we eat it. But that's not nearly all, because you won't believe how deeply it morphs our inside after even as little as a few days. Literally, any bite you take is massacring your good bacteria and paving the way for the bad ones to create a terror state in your own gut. That's why you get fatter and fatter despite every diet you ever tried, despite always choosing to walk instead of drive, despite doing everything your doctor ever told you to do. It's not that you're weak or fall off the wagon. It's that the wagon is not what it's all played out to be. Don't believe me? I'll prove it to you. So let's say you have a bowl of soup and a salad with some grilled chicken for lunch. After all, this is every nutritionist's dream meal for you. Have you ever thought about how your body breaks down that lunch? Well, whatever you eat can either not feed or completely wipe out your good bacteria. Of course, at first sight, that salad makes you think vitamins, while that chicken breast makes you think you also got your proteins. But what if I told you that after that meal alone, chances are you already killed off 25% of your gut's good microorganisms, and you made way for the bad guys to step in and start a gut genocide? Probiotics are live microorganisms that you ingest to increase the diversity of your microbiome. They help keep you strong, healthy, and resilient to invasions by bad microbes. Historically, our gut was full of probiotics, from eating fresh foods from good soil and by fermenting our foods to keep them from spoiling. However, today, because of refrigeration and dangerous agricultural practices like soaking our foods with chlorine, we are effectively scraping the sides of our guts with bleach. Yes, you heard that right. The chemical you use to disinfect your toilet bowl is the exact same thing the food industry dunks your food in. And while many of us avoid drinking tap water because of the horrid chlorine smell and taste, we still unknowingly ingest it in moderate to high amounts every single day. Because it's hidden in something we thought to be healthy, fruits and veggies. Not only that, but remember, you also added some grilled chicken to that vitamin-filled salad for lunch, right? Well, you'll be shocked to learn that your protein source was also washed in the same deadly chemical. The European Union refuses to import meat from the US for this exact reason. So while we may think we are eating the fruits and berries that keep the hadza so healthy, we're actually killing off the good bacteria in our guts and paving the way for the evil guys to orchestrate their mutiny. Imagine that with each bite of an apple, you also take a sip of bleach to wash it down. The mere thought of that makes me want to throw up. And that's not nearly all. Studies tie an undeniable link between chlorine in tap water to the destruction of our gut microbiome and the dramatic rise of heart disease in the United States. So why does the medical establishment ignore the fact that when the gut suffers, the entire body suffers? Nobody ever looks at the root cause behind these diseases, which kill more people every year than any war. As a result, our food contains little to no probiotics, and most foods today actually contain antibiotics that kill off the good bacteria in our bodies. It's a double whammy. Which brings me to the second biggest threat to your gut health: prescription and OTC drugs. Harvard researchers uncovered in January 2020 the mystery behind how your gut can turn against you and what can trigger it. They constructed what they called the mega plate, a 2 by 4 foot giant petri dish which replicated a healthy human gut, in which they introduced different commonly prescribed medications 4 out of 5 Americans will be taking for at least 7 to 14 days this year alone. The goal was to see what effect it had on the tiny organisms we host and that train our immune system to fight off unwanted invaders. Turns out, not only do antibiotics wreak havoc on our gut, but even non-prescription drugs can mess it up beyond the point of no return. Imagine that even an Advil or ibuprofen you take for a simple headache can cause an imbalance so great that within a week, you might not even recognize the person you see in the mirror. That's what happened to Marianne from Florida, who got prescribed antibiotics for a cut she had on her hand. Within 2 days, she developed high fevers and increasingly intense body aches that shot from the bottoms of her feet to the top of her head. A week after finishing the drug, her symptoms got worse and extreme gut inflammation caused her to be on the toilet 24/7. It wasn't until she did some frantic research of her own and stumbled upon this video that it all clicked in her head. She asked her doctors to test the level of good gut bacteria in her stomach, and that's when they realized that the seemingly harmless 7-day antibiotic treatment completely killed her gut and allowed the bad bacteria to flourish. Using this tried and tested method, she repopulated her gut and is now thinner, happier, and more vibrant than she's ever been. I mean, just look at her transformation. So a dose of the right bacteria at the right time can come to the rescue when your autoimmune fattening response goes haywire, causing you to double or triple your weight in just a matter of a few months. But most people aren't as lucky as her. I know. Odd choice of words, but I mean it. Most people have mild symptoms that doctors and dietitians never connect with the gut, let alone measly microscopic bacteria. And that's why I created a special gut healing formula with a 2-phase action process that addressed the main issue at hand. autoimmune fattening response. And that's what saved my sister's life and gave her a revenge body that had her ex in tears. Phase 1 feeds your nutrient-depleted body and gives it everything it was lacking all this time, breeding your good bacteria and teaching them to defend themselves from future mutinies. And Phase 2 stabilizes the gut's microbiota production and management so that you can watch as that ugly fat stored over years and years just melts right under your eyes. The formula I used on Linda was composed of 7 incredible, potent, and highly absorbable ingredients that offered the 2 layers of support. But it didn't work only for her. More than 24,795 people who committed to a change have put an end to a life full of yo-yoing weight. And that's why I couldn't sit on this life-changing secret any longer. I knew that after Linda's success, more and more people want to escape their fat prison without long and exhausting classes at the gym. Costly and useless diets that only ruin your mood and social life, and the inevitable feeling of guilt and shame each time your gut sabotages you and keeps you fat and tired. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Gutamin 7, the ultimate fat-shedding support system. But what makes Gutamin 7 so amazing, it gathers the best probiotic active strains using a state-of-the-art fine-tuned extraction process. I know you can't be asked to hunt and gather like the Hadza do, and our modern world offers us many privileges that they don't have. But what we can do is make up for the missing links in our gut. There are hundreds of ways probiotics get extracted, but the vast majority of them lead to their death. And of course, swallowing pills filled with dead, good bacteria would do nothing for you at the end of the day. That's what most probiotics you see online actually contain: dead microorganisms which never get the chance to help heal your gut. I took extreme measures, personally following every single step of the ingredient sourcing and extraction process and making sure that it was done with the utmost care. Imagine the dose of extremely potent probiotics you take every morning acting exactly like a perfectly trained SWAT team, being sent in to re-establish peace and order in the gut. They support the good bacteria in your gut, aid digestion and balance your immune system while wiping out the bad bacteria. Then they rush in and switch off the alarm system that caused the fat-storing immune response in the first place. But everything I've told you is based on cold, hard facts. Over 15 studies published in the JOR Journal Obesity Reviews, conducted over a period of 3 to 12 weeks, revealed that probiotic intake resulted in a significantly larger reduction in body weight. With the help of a solid probiotic intervention team, your gut bacteria can regulate digestion and metabolism, extract vitamins and other nutrients from the food you eat, fine-tune the body's immune system, build a rock-solid gut wall which protects you from outside invaders, block harmful bacteria from setting up camp, and train your body to produce antimicrobial agents that defend you against dangerous invaders. So let me introduce you to the strains which will produce a quantum leap improvement in your gut and which will help you flush out that ugly fat stacked up on your dimply legs and butt. L. acidophilus helps keep foreign invaders that cause infection and inflammation out of your gut and provide you with significantly more relief from gastrointestinal discomfort than most medications your doctor can prescribe. Not only that, but this will be one of your greatest allies if you've been struggling with high cholesterol levels, since it has a unique ability to balance them back to normal. And maybe the most significant health benefit for people who struggle with maintaining a steady blood sugar level is that L. acidophilus has been proven to help with managing type 2 diabetes. L. casei helps trigger an immediate fat flushing response, as one 2015 study in the MPDI Medical Journals points out. And if you are one of the 50 million Americans who are lactose intolerant, you'll be happy to hear that this little guy will keep you off the toilet and off the meds when your barista accidentally forgets your soy milk. B. longum breaks down carbs so that you can enjoy guilt-free meals and provides potent antioxidant support, keeping your skin looking, glowing, and radiant year-round. L. plantarum is a robust aid for those who have suffered from the bacterial imbalance for longer periods of time, so much so that they have had to get treated for irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, and colitis. In fact, several studies have shown that L. plantarum is able to survive through harsh environments, including rounds of antibiotics. Of course, we don't deny that your body does need prescription medication for certain situations. And for those extreme cases, it's also best that you have your gut armed and ready. According to research published by the CDC, a whopping 4 out of 5 Americans will be prescribed antibiotics by the end of 2020. So protecting your family with a safe and natural alternative is an absolute must. L. rhamnosus, which I can't do without, is the most researched probiotic in the world. With over 400 studies, this little guy is proven to have a unique ability to train your immune system. In 1985, a team of 2 Tufts University researchers spent nearly a decade testing organisms until they discovered that this one strain is the most potent antimicrobial organism in the human gut, surviving both stomach and bile acid by sticking to the gut wall like a piece of Velcro on your shoes. Arming your gut with his unique abilities will seal the deal on the weight loss goals you've been putting off for years. Bifidobacterium breve stimulates your immune system and helps counteract the damaging effects of antibiotics. All in all, these 6 probiotic strains will help you kill off the bad bacteria that's been fattening you, experience relief from gastrointestinal problems, and balance your weight naturally, but also keep your skin looking glowy and young to match that killer figure that'll have all the jealous PTA moms swear up and down that you've been visiting a surgeon. But there's a catch. You can't actually benefit from all of these strains, at least not with most probiotics on the market, because as they travel to your gut, most of them are destroyed by your gastric acid. So by the time they reach your gut, there are very few live cultures left alive to make a difference to your health. And a probiotic supplement full of bacteria that die in a sea of stomach acid is a waste of money. However, what helped me save Linda from that depressing amount of fat smothering her inner organs was a highly acid-resistant strain. I'm talking about Bacillus subtilis, more specifically the DE111 strain. DE111 actually encases and escorts all the other 6 microorganisms and assures a safe delivery to your stomach walls. But here are a few other reasons that make Bacillus subtilis so great. The particular DE111 strain of Bacillus subtilis is a patented strain which remains viable under a wide temperature range and doesn't require special storage conditions, survives passage through the acidic environment of the GI tract, supports the normal immune reaction of intestinal cells, crowds out bad bacteria and maintains healthy gut flora, communicates with intestinal cells to seal the gut lining. Discovering this particular strain wasn't easy, and in fact, after several formulas, I created myself I found that the DE111 strain can fix previously caused cell damage. But it took me months to figure out the right combo and discover the most effective probiotic combo for your gut health, especially since it absolutely had to include a patented delivery system that ensured a significantly high percentage of probiotics will reach your intestines alive. I knew then that the key ingredient, DE111, would enable me to create an extremely potent probiotic formula that would help Linda lose weight fast. Reaching this point in my discovery took a toll on our entire family. We were all on suicide watch for Linda's sake. But the closer I got to producing the first batch, the more determined I became to not only melt her body fat, but help millions of Americans of all ages recover their lives before it was too late. Once my discovery became quite the buzz within the medical community, a large supplement manufacturer approached me, telling me that he wanted to sell this product nationwide in pharmacy chains, which was great considering that the powerhouse ingredients inside this probiotic would finally reach so many people who needed it. But you see, I didn't go through with this deal. Once he told me that he had to charge top dollar for it, given that sourcing high-quality DE111 was quite expensive, I knew there had to be a better way. You see, I've been practicing in this game for decades now, and I know that every person in America would benefit from using it daily. But I felt that charging over $297 per bottle would be an almost criminal act. So I decided to do something about it and go solo on this one, even if my profit margins will never be as high. So this is my gift to you, and I truly hope that you will not be anywhere close to where Linda was. Honestly, when I first told her about this amazing discovery, I could see how skeptical she was when I handed her a glass of water and this tiny 1-ounce capsule filled with gut-healing, fat-busting troopers. Still, I begged her to give it an honest chance and to keep taking them no matter what. After 7 days, I had her get up on the scale, and we noticed a 7-pound decrease. Promising, but not anything close to what I had hoped for. Well, after the 14th day, the story changed. I had moved in with Linda since the incident, and I woke up on that morning to a giggle as she called my name. I rushed downstairs, and Linda showed me that she had to put on a belt to keep her once goals jeans from falling. I had noticed that her cravings vanished and that her weight was melting off like butter in the microwave. But it wasn't because she was just eating salads. On the contrary. In that week, we had pasta, pizza, and cake almost every day. The probiotics in Linda's stomach walls managed to multiply in high enough numbers by the second week that they put her in natural fat burning mechanism right on track. On the 21st day, we had to go to the mall because Linda literally had nothing to wear anymore. She was basically swimming in her once tight-fitted shirts. She cried on that night as we crashed, exhausted on the couch. But this time, her tears weren't of guilt, shame, or sadness. They were genuine tears of happiness and relief. Soon after, she was 62 pounds lighter and went from this to this. But I think no amount of beautiful dresses and skirts made her happier than the day she ran into her scumbag ex. He was at the grocery store, and his jaw dropped when she confidently walked up from behind and said a cheerful, "Hi." She called me immediately after, proud that she left him stunned in the middle of the dairy aisle, as if he had just seen the ghost of Christmas past. Linda was now the powerful and independent woman that she was always meant to be. She felt beautiful inside and out, and nobody could ever bring her down again. And I think the satisfaction she felt getting to ignore his desperate texts to get her back felt like heaven to her. That's what I want for you too. I want you to wake up every single morning and notice the difference. I want you to be able to confidently show off your belly and thighs without grabbing handfuls of fat, pulling at them in disappointment. You can make a smart decision today and break free from the immune fattening response your bad gut bacteria enslaved you in. In November 2019, I went public with the formula on this page, and since then, emails, phone calls, text messages, and letters have been coming in daily. Tales of happiness and accomplishment for tens of thousands of Americans. Inspiring stories that will stay with me until the moment I die. This is why we did it. This is why I want Gutamin 7 to be in the bathroom cabinet of every red-blooded American who is ready to take in the 1 ounce miracle pill that'll make them lose 1 pound a day. I made sure that all 7 strains of potent probiotics are alive and pure in each and every capsule. And because of the DE111 strain, you won't have to worry about storing it any other way that you would store your normal vitamins. To ensure quality, I kept the manufacturing process right here in the USA in an FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility. I want to also make it clear to you now that Gutamin 7 has none of the toxic and dangerous chemicals that most weight loss solutions contain. It is, first and foremost, a gut healing vitamin. Weight loss being a natural consequence of a healthy immune and digestive system. And you will not have to set foot in a gym or follow any restrictive diet. Just think of it as an investment not only in your waist and dress size, but also in a healthier heart, brain, and joints, making sure that your age is a secret you and only you know. You need to ask yourself right now, how much is it worth to you to have the men who've treated you badly in the past beg to have you back? How much is it worth to you to truly show every bully and hater in your life that you are beautiful and confident? How much is it worth to you that you will never have to worry about burdening your family with your early onset health conditions? How much does it mean to you to have a perfectly chiseled body without having to hit the gym daily? Imagine how good it would feel to be fully independent. Would you pay $10,000? How about $5,000? I know you would never give yourself this gift. Any man or woman who spent their lives being the sacrificial lamb and putting themselves last while catering to the emotional, financial, and physical needs of others would never take this high enough risk. I've had people write to me saying that they'd pay triple the amount I charge for a 30-day dose of Gutamin 7, but my mission was higher than a fat bank account. I know what it feels like seeing the person you love lose their shine and be ready to kill themselves. I know I was absolutely destroyed, and discovering this formula was a blessing I want to share with as many people as possible. So I just plan on covering my costs of production and website maintenance. I don't want you to think about money. I want you to focus on your healing and transformation. So even though the price may soon jump to $99 as the DE111 is becoming more and more hard to source from a clean supplier, you can still get Gutamin 7 for $59, our launching price. But I can't tell you exactly how long I will be able to maintain the price. Right now, I am not even breaking even, and shipping costs come out of my own pocket. Since I'm not a billionaire or backed by some insanely successful pharmaceutical company, I know I can't keep this price for long. I personally saw people order 1 bottle, but because their gut damage was severe, they had to go back and order our 3 or 6 bottle deals after 30 days. I would recommend you go directly for our discounted packages and save money on the spot. But if you order any of those in the next 30 minutes, I will also throw in a special free bonus that will accelerate results in even the most severe cases. It's called Pure Ashwagandha. Ashwagandha in its purest form causes the hardened fat cells on your belly, thighs, and hips to be broken down more effectively, helping your body burn fat faster. Not only that, but in one recent study published in the International Journal of Ayurveda Research, ashwagandha proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that it builds lean muscle cells. That's why Linda's body was completely toned as she lost the weight. So you won't have to worry about loose, saggy skin, no matter how much weight you lose or how big you are. I know it's very important for you to see actual results, and that's why I want to set up for immediate success. With this once-a-day fat drainer, I guarantee that your weight loss results will be supercharged. So here's my deal for you. Buy 3 bottles of Gutamin 7 right now and get a 30-day supply of pure ashwagandha worth $89 for absolutely free. Better still, buy 6 bottles of Gutamin 7 now and we will gift you with a 60-day supply of pure ashwagandha worth $178 for free. Plus, we want you to be completely satisfied, so we're going to ship every order you make in the next 30 minutes today, plus the free bonuses to you for free. That's just how confident I am that you will succeed and love your new body and confidence. Do the right thing for you, and I guarantee that future you will love you. Once you click the Buy Now button, we'll take you on a page that looks like this. Then all you have to do is fill in your payment details using a credit card, debit card, or PayPal. Confirm all your personal and shipping details, and your Gutamin 7 package will be on your doorstep immediately. And if you are smart, you will order the 3 or 6 month supply to get your bonus pure ashwagandha for free. And yes, you don't have to worry about rebilling. This will be a one-payment, one-time order with no subscription or hidden charges. I hate those darn things just as much as the next guy. Gutamin 7 is only available now on this page and this page only. This is your last chance to get your hands on it, so I'd move fast if I were you. As long as you stay on this page, I always reserve at least 1 bottle per visitor. So click fast and check if you could still put it in for a 3 or 6 month deal. Once I'm out of stock, the 2 packages will be grayed out and you won't be able to get the bonus booster separately. Plus, because of how hard it is to source each ingredient and make sure that each strain is alive and stays alive in your bathroom cabinet daily, it also takes us up to 4 months to produce a new batch. That's why I always recommend the 6-month deal. It's the only way to make sure you don't run out and have to start all over again if your autoimmune fattening response is in a more severe state than you anticipated. And I know you may still be a little bit skeptical. I mean, my own sister started out a skeptic before turning into a believer. But that's what happens after you've been dancing the tango with the $80 billion weight loss industry. They would never want you to find out what the true cause of your chaotic weight gain is, let alone how to fix it. So here's what else I am willing to do to show you I have nothing to hide and that I trust my method fully. I will give you another deal. 60-day, risk-free, no questions asked, money back guarantee. If you don't throw out your clothes by the end of this, if you don't see yourself transform in the high energy, chiseled man or woman you always thought you would be, I will give you back every penny. Besides, since we cover the shipping costs for Gutamin 7 and you get a heavy discount on the 3 and 6 month packages, we will ship your bonus pure ashwagandha for free as well. So click the buttons below and see for yourself how easy it is to get the flat belly, firm skinny legs, and lean arms you always dream of. How easy is it to boost your gut health with helpful probiotics that will stop weight loss in its tracks and helps treat years of built-up cellulite and fat rolls. So now it's time for you to decide. You're at a crossroads in your life where you can either choose energy, hope, passion, and an overwhelming feeling of pride regarding what you've accomplished. Where you're no longer counting calories and dishing out hundreds of dollars on yoga classes and personal trainers. Or you can just continue down the road you are on right now. So listen closely as I tell you what your two options are so that you can make an informed choice. You can choose to go in circles as the mainstream healthcare system wants you to do. Diet, exercise, lose a few pounds only to have 8 more back for each pound you lost. You'll never be free of guilt to eat what you want. You'll never be able to skip the gym without feeling like a failure. You'll keep yo-yoing your entire life. That's just the way the weight loss industry likes it. And you would be playing right into their plan. I think you already suspect that. You can start seeing the string they attach to you over time, and you now have the chance to break free from the cycle of feeling fat and discouraged. Or option 2, and the only sane and smart option you have, invest in yourself with a one-time only payment for Gutamin 7 today, so you can put the formula to the test, completely risk-free for a full 60 days. And just imagine the difference you will see in half that time. No more fear about your already degrading health. No more guilt and shame about trying and failing another diet. No more measuring each gram of food and calculating fat and sugar percentages. No more feeling heavy and disgusted in how you look and fit into your clothes. In a lot of ways, it's the easier road because all it takes on your part is deciding right now that you love yourself enough to say, yes, right now. Choose one of the packages below and claim a spot in the Gutamin 7 Hall of Fame. And remember, I'm guaranteeing your success with a special deal for the 3 and 6 month packages with free supplies of pure ashwagandha. Just imagine how amazing it will feel to show everyone who ever judged and doubted you that the only thing you lose is the extra weight. Imagine how empowering it is to see your partner look at you with a renewed desire. Imagine waking up each morning looking and feeling 15 years younger. So hit the button below and test Gutamin 7 for yourself, risk-free, for a full 60 days. Still here? Great. I wanted to take the time to make sure all your questions are answered. Is Gutamin 7 safe for me? I get this question quite a lot, and the answer is always the same. Yes, Gutamin 7 is a completely safe and tested formula that works for everyone despite their gender, metabolism, age, pre-existing conditions. Nothing will stand in your way to achieving a body you are proud of. Is Gutamin 7 right for me? Yes, Gutamin 7 works where all other weight loss methods have failed. The real problem lies in your gut, where a mutiny has taken place. The bad bacteria managed to run out of town. The good bacteria, and that's why it's so important to replenish your gut with healthy soldiers. In the current panic state, your immune system sounded the alarm and your body started storing the fat instead of transforming it into energy. So if you are even 10 pounds overweight, Gutamin 7 is right for you. When should I take Gutamin 7? For the best results, I recommend taking 2 pills in the afternoon with a big glass of water. You'll immediately feel energized without coffee, Coke, or tea. Gutamin 7 will help your body naturally find its healthy rhythm, and you will wake up every day well rested and ready to take on any challenge. What if it doesn't work for me? You are protected by a 60-day money-back guarantee that will ensure you will have enough time to dump your old fat clothes and be convinced of the miracles Gutamin 7 can work for you. If you are not happy for any reason, or if you lose even 1 pound too less, then you can simply contact us and your money will be reverted back to your account immediately. What if I lose weight too fast? I get this question quite often, and what I can suggest if you feel you are not ready for this transformation is to take Gutamin 7 every other day instead of every day. Looking forward to hearing about your success.